All right. We're here with some mighty heroes. They're up in the Lord's key area in the city, and they spent the night and uh, they are getting up in the morning with the sergeant of the guard that Malachi knew and gave them bunks in the barracks and went ahead and came down to collect them to go up to see Lord Ballas in regards of a mission that he needs taken care of. The uh, rumors in the Shadowwood and the complaints of the peasants and businessmen with losing people and product. Uh, he has to do something to quell the uprest and unease of the community. So, with that, you're being brought on up to the day throne room and presented to Lord Ballas. So, at this point, go ahead and introduce your characters to Lord Ballas. We'll go with we'll go with Malachi first, since he has the connections connections there because of his past as one of his soldiers.
Okay, yeah. So as we come into the room, I'll turn to the sergeant that's escorted us, and thanks very much, Frank. It's nice to see you again. Then I'll turn to Lord Ballas, and I will walk up to him. Forgetting that he's a lord, I'll stick my hand out and try and shake his hand, and I'll say, "Hello, I remember you. Do you remember me? And my name's Malachi."
And as you stick your hand out, two halberds come down crossed in front to block your hand from meeting his, and both of his guards kind of give you a strange but stern look.
Well, that wasn't very nice. You could have hurt my hand there.
In a hush tone, the sergeant of the guard that brought you up will say, "Shh, shh, Malachi, remember where you're at."
Remember where Oh, I remember. And then I will back up a little bit, and I will bow, and I will say, "Greetings, Lord Frank. I am Malachi. I have brought my friends here because they have a wish to look at the books in your library. Can we?"
Well, my library is my private library. And if you could do me a favor, I could see my way doing a limited favor for you all.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be fairly reasonable. After all, it's a quid pro quo world, isn't it, Frank? Lord Frank. Yeah. What's this favour that you need doing? Do you need the dishes doing?
Well, there's happenings, strange of sorts, in the Shadow Wood. I'll need you all to investigate these happenings so I know how to treat them. As far, who's your friend next to you?
At this moment, as the attention turns to the very young and fresh-faced elf, he goes quite red and pushes back his hood and walks up beside Malachi and gives a little. He looks around nervously. He looks out of place. Doesn't really know what he's doing here, and he's been a bit like a tourist, gazing at everything, a little bit open-mouthed and amazed at everything he's seen. And he bows to Lord Ballas and says, "Lord Frank, Malachi, allow me to present myself. I am a young elf. My people." And then he stumbles over his words a few times, and then says, to be considered a man, it is customary among my people to go on a great hunt. And one day in the past, some time ago, the woods that you call Shadow Wood was once inhabited by elves, and there was a breed of elusive deer there, especially elusive, that it was said could only be seen and could only be caught by the swiftest and stealthiest of hunters. I, in order to prove myself to my tribe, would like to hunt one, but I believe this forest lies in your lands, and it is customary to ask the lord of the place for permission to hunt in his forests. That is why I have come. Oh, and my name is, it's complicated. I have the name of a child, Mosshoe, until I am accepted as an adult in my tribe. You can call me Mosshoe, he says to Malachi.
Oh, okay.
Matthew, pleased to meet you.
And you, he says with a little smile.
And then he'll turn and he'll say,
and just one other detail. Yeah. As he said that, as he came forward, he was staggering up under this really heavy backpack. Looks bigger than he is.
He'll turn to your other friend standing there, and who are you, sir? And why do you come to see me?
I imagine it's me.
Yes.
Can you really quick describe the scene again? That I was not here.
Oh, no problem there, Lionel. Yeah. Thank you. The sergeant of the guard that brought you up and that Malachi knew, that got you the cots space in the barracks, came down, called you all, brought you forward to the day throne room to talk to Lord Ballas, and basically, Malachi said that you all wanted to look at books, and he said, "Well, it's my private library, and that if you do me a favor, that I may be able to do you a favor, and the favor being looking into the Shadowwood to find out what the strange happenings are that are going on in there."
Okay. Okay, so my character, it's, you can see his I don't know if the word is prying eyes, but it's looking very attentively to the books, and when he is addressed, he turns and say, "Yes, yes, yeah, well, I'm interested in deepening into knowledge, and I am not adverse to helping out. I mean, we are living here, and if there is a problem that affects us, so why would I deny my help? I mean, sure, I can help out. I tag along. Um, uh, but if you know of somewhere or something where we can get more information, or someone that has recently came out of the forest, or know the layout of the terrain and stuff like that, it might
Well,
be very helpful.
he'll say, "Go talk to my stable master. He just finished a trip that took him close by, and he could tell you some of the tales that he heard from some of the lucky that didn't disappear or be slain."
That's a good lead, and he will not note down the name and place of the guy, and he will look at the other party members and say, "Good, we have a young a wood elf, and the other one is a tortoise, right? A turtle."
Our turtle isn't here at the moment, but we'll say he's still scrubbing or sleeping in the shell. And if he shows up, we'll tie him in. You have an additional uh, gentleman here.
Yes, sure. And do we have to bring any kind of proof, or just information about what's going on?
He'll say, "I need the information, but any proof of situations will help validify the information. But if you can't garner any proof, then your word will have to be sufficing."
Okay. Do you pardon me if this is too much, but do you know any good place where I can and you know he's you all can see that he's kind of casual. He is not used to talk to lords or rich people, and he's like trying to move his armor, the neck of his armor, like he's a bit overwhelmed by the weight, and say, "Do you know perhaps any place where I can sell this and change my armor? it came with the stuff they give us when I enrolled, but I feel kind of annoying this set of armor.
Lord Ballas will say, well, if you need to, I can go ahead and allow you to trade your armor that you have for what is the armor you have?
Right now he has I forgot the name.
Chainmail?
No, the other one that gets disadvantage. Scale mail,
Oh, okay.
and and I want to change, or he wants to change it to a student leader.
Okay. He'll say, when you go down and see my stable master, Shackles, right next to the stables is my armorer, and he should be able to make a trade for you on that.
That's a good thing to know. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your help. I will certainly be ready to tackle those problems right away.
Okay. And if you need, you can tell Shackles to go ahead and give you a use of a pack mule if you so desire, to help you with your endeavor.
And I'm guessing as he says that, he looks at this young elf struggling under this huge pack in front of him. When he bowed, he looked like he was going to topple over from the weight of it on his back. And when he walks, he wobbles rather than moves confidently.
I'm sure
Yes.
it will be a very, very much help. Thank you very much, sir.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so my character Roland is going to wait for the others to say what they want to say, and he will keep quiet and move along, joining them all.
So as Roland finishes speaking, the overburdened young elf struggles up to him, sweating, and offers a hand, saying, "My name is Mosshoe." And he looks up at Roland. What race is Roland?
High elf.
High elf. And he says, well met in Elven, but with a strong wood elf accent.
He will answer in Elvish to well met. Nice to see young people ready to adventure.
All right. And the sergeant of the guard will say to you, come this way. I'll show you to Shackles. And he'll wait for you and lead you off to the stables.
Come on, lads. Frank's thrown us the way.
And we'll follow Frank, but pretty slowly, stumbling down the stairs and everything like that.
Okay. And Roland, I'm assuming you're following also.
Yes.
Okay. And you're having no problem You get down, you go through the hallways. It kind of reminds you of how you were led back up. You go down into the barracks, and through the barracks, you're out into the main courtyard, and you'll see off to the front right a couple horses being cared for, curried down, and their hooves being picked, and you smell the smoke of a fire that had just not too long ago started up, and you see this big human. He's about 6 foot, pretty brawny, middle-aged, and with a big beer gut. He has his apron on like a blacksmith farrier, and he has, for the most part, a bald head, except for almost like a monk cap, a hair around his ears. Down his face, you'll see mutton chops, but no actual chin hairs. Seems to be strong-armed, somewhat dirty, and the sergeant of guard will take and introduce you to Shackles.
Why, thank you very much, Frank. Mr. Shackles, we've been sent by the Lord Frank. He wants us to go sort out the happenings in the woods. I think it's just sock gnomes, but you know how he gets twitchy. We've been told that you might know more about these gnomes.
Well, he'll say, I don't know of gnomes per se, but the people that I have talked to from my last trek, picking up horses and supplies, they said there's been dark activity in the woods, that they've lost friends and loved ones that traveled in, and with some of the woodsmen, they've gone in for lumber and never come back out. There's talk of evil spirits protecting the woods, not wanting us to enter in and such. So that's about the extent of the knowledge I can tell you per se. I know the people were rather shaken and almost ghostly pale when they were telling me of these tales.
Is there anybody in town that have told you these tales, or anybody that have seen these things firsthand, these sock gnomes?
He chuckles and he says, oh, there's many that will tell you tales of these things, but I don't think there's too many that I believe. I think it's just weak backbones and shattered nerves from being out on the trail and in the dark. I didn't get bothered by them, but these tales are tall, and the proof is small for me.
Interesting. And you see Roland pondering about, and he asked, by any chance, and normally, have you ever, did you ever go hunting on the area?
No, I don't have the time to hunt with taking care of Lord Ballas's stable. It's just a holiday for me to go on a horse buying venture such as I did here a week ago and such. And as Shackles is talking to you and you're conversing with him, he says, "What is that comes with you that looks like my last supper I had there that my missus done made a turtle soup, but this one I've never seen such the size of him. What are you, beast?" You there, David?
You're very muted. I can hardly hear you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't hear you.
Oh, hello, can you hear me? Ah, there you go.
Yeah, a little bit of
Yes.
echo, but in the background. But no, we can hear you good with it, so it's all good.
Alright, let me turn off my Roll20 thingy in, because I think that was displaying. Yes. So Raphael looks round and sort of like turns and like looks and points at himself and he says, "I do not know what I am. My master found me, my wizard master thought I was a dragon, but he ended up with me. I became his dog's body, as it were, and worked around the lab. Eventually enough, I got too big for his company, and I was sent out onto the streets, wandering the wastelands, trying to find answers to who I am and what I am."
All right. And Shackles, he doesn't seem to be shook by Raphael's appearance, but he is in wonder and amazement. He's never seen such a turtle of that size, as far as that. And you could kind of guess from him licking his lips that he's thinking about the turtle soup that his good wife made the other night, and he was thinking about how many servings of turtle soup he could get from something as you. But he doesn't say that. It's just him licking his lips and what he mentioned prior would lead you down that path.
I just look at him and like raise an eyebrow. Well, raise an eye is type thing, and just like stand there looking very big and muscly. Very muscly.
All right. So, any of you guys doing anything else?
Mr. Shackles, sir, is there any specific area the stories of these sock gnomes are coming from? Any part of the woods we should check?
Let's see here. Give me a second. As far as that, let's see. Where did I put that map of that? What I'll do is I'll do this. I'll open this on up and share it with you all.
Raphael will ask one question though. He says, "But I heard that you have a vast library here. Maybe I can find answers there."
And he'll say that yes, Lord Ballas has quite the library. And now, as far as that, now if any of you guys, and he'll say you'll have to talk to Lord Ballas on that.
Yeah,
And-
don't worry about that, Raph. Our friend Lord Frank has said that if we go look into these sock gnomes, we can go and have a look at the library after.
Ah, then let's go and sort them out and give them a good squishing as he claps his hands with his fist, like, you know, like pumping his, like, ready for action.
All right, let's see here. Yeah, we'll go with purple. He'll tell you from all the stories that he's heard that the it seems to be coming from about this area right here. Purple is.
I'm not seeing. What are you looking at? Is there a Roll20 connection or something?
No, it should be sharing. I hope it is. It doesn't.
Yeah, I can see it on mine.
Right. Yep. I know why. Okay. I'm on audio only, so I need to. Okay.
Well, I don't see it sharing on here anyways. That's what's kind of befuddling me off my screen. It should have switched to that. Here. Let me get. Oh, okay. Yeah, it is. I was looking at the wrong program, but why is okay? Let me get back up here. There we go. Alrighty. But you see where the purple is. That is the general area. So that'd be a little northeast, mostly east of the city. Is where most of the people, because they've taken through the a trail that's been used from time to time for travel down the Sidri that goes on the backside of the hills and between the forests to protect them from the sometimes hard, strong, cold winds from the ocean that breeze across. And so they traveled that edge, and it's up around there is where most of the trouble seems to be coming from.
May I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Good. Tell me, of the roads of this to this place, are the roads perilous or dangerous from what you have heard from people on the path going backwards and forwards from place to place, or is it a sort of simple road that we can easily follow?
He'll say it's not much of a road. It's just an old travel path, just a little better than a goat's path that's used. We don't do a lot of overland trade with them. A lot of times we go port to port, but from time to time it's easier and cheaper to go overland. So folks take that path to try to he'll say forego any incidences of weather that may come off the cold seas during this time of year. But
may I have a copy of the map of this route, if kind gentleman?
I don't have a map of this. We all just go by landmarks and such that we've been handed down through generations on the families, as such as that. But
can you tell us these landmarks and what they look like?
He'll say what I use is I go northeast. I go into the woods at the backside of the mountains. I take a right and go south. Generally, that's about it. Once in a while, I'll find where someone has left a marker or stones or something, but most of the time they all get changed with whoever goes on through or whatever is happening. It's a a work to work that trail. But if you have someone that's good and used to the woods, and he'll start looking at the wood elf that you have, someone that knows nature as some do, and should be able to manage, I think, with those general directions. And then he'll say, "You, son," to the wood elf that's sweating large beads, trying to hold the weight and such, and stagger. "Would you like to purchase or rent a mule?"
They said that carrying weights would make me stronger, and but maybe a mule would be helpful, he says, struggling out of his backpack, and with a loud thud, it sort of bangs onto the floor, and you hear some liquid sloshing away inside it, and he says, but maybe a mule would be better.
Like, Raphael tilts his head sideways, looks at you, and then looks at the gentleman behind the desk, and he says, "Unusual creature. I'd never heard of such a wood elf. What, pray tell, it is a wood elf?"
I am cousins. The wood elves are cousins of high elves here. Rolen or Fandros is another type of elf, but we have my people used to inhabit Shadowwood a long time ago, but we moved away. We split. Some remained in Shadowwood, but I don't know. We have heard little of them or nothing of them over the last century or two. Our people live a bit to the south, but I have come back to Shadowwood to pass my my coming of age rite and hunt the deer of Shadowwood, which are exceptionally alert and wary of other beings. Those who can hunt down, stalk, and catch Shadowwood buck are considered true hunters indeed.
Well then, I wish you luck in your honorable quest, mighty hunter. And he helps you with the bag and picks it up with one hand and says, "Do you want some help with this luggage?"
Oh, that's all right, Raph, mate. Lord Frank said that we could have a donkey for this trip.
Very well. And then he just puts it back down again.
Who is this? The Shackles will say, "Who is this Lord Frank?"
Why, the mighty Lord Frank, the Lord of the Manor. The guy that we all work for. The one with the library.
Oh, that's not Lord Frank. Who are you trying to fool here? That'd be that'd be the Lord Ballos.
Isn't that what I said?
No, that's not what you said.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, it was him anyway. He said that we could borrow a donkey to go after the sock gnomes.
Okay. He's gonna scratch his head at you saying sock gnome, and the bald spot starting to get a little red from him rubbing it every time you say sock gnome and and such. So he'll go and he'll tell one of the stable hands to get a pack mule and get it prepared for your use.
I am sorry, the Lord. I asked politely, and he allowed me to exchange this armor for a set of student leader, if you don't mind.
That I don't handle armor. That's not my job here for the Lord. You'll have to see there next door. You'll have to see Master Quell. If the Lord said to do this, he'll make sure that it gets done.
Thank you very much. And he will excuse himself and go to the next door.
All right. Over on the next store where the armorer's workshop is, you'll see different types of armor being forged, repaired, and done waiting, hanging. And what you'll see is two gnomes working on the bellows and a pretty stout but tall dwarf form. I mean, he's standing about 4'10" and really stout. He has armbands on of leather, and he has a heavy hammer, and his forge is going along. You hear him ping a couple times, and he'll look up in between and say, "What can I do for you? My name is Quell."
Hello, you mighty dwarf. My name is Roland. I am here requesting a favor. The Lord Balos. I asked him if, since we are going to work for him, that if he will allow me to exchange this armor I'm wearing for a better, a lighter, more suitable for us elves. So I would want to change this scale mail for a student leader if you have one.
And he'll say, "Sure, I can do that. I can understand you wanting to get rid of that metal iron base scale mail, how it must irritate your skin. I know how you guys of the Fae are allergic to ferrous metal. Here's a wonderful piece of studded leather that I took in exchange from someone that was sentenced to, let's say, to go to their holy ground by means of the axeman. But you should enjoy it. It should work well for you, and it should enlighten your look and your step. And what it is it's leather studded armor, but the studs, instead of being made of ferrous metal, are made of studs of mithril.
What? Wow! I mean, he was shocked to hear that it belonged to someone sentenced to death. But looking at the mithril, he will say, "Wow, this is amazing," and he will immediately begin to take off the armor and try on the new one.
Okay, no problem. They'll fit. It'll take you time to take off and time to put on, but your friends are next door, and they're working on getting their loads of what they'll put on the mule, put on and strap down and like that. What else are you guys doing?
Well, Malachi will need to go back to his lodgings and get his stuff. He's just in his in clothes at the minute, carrying around this big great axe with him. But beyond that, he's just in normal clothes. So once everybody's ready, he'll want to swing by and pick his stuff up.
All right, that's no problem on that. Let's see what time of day it'll be. Oh, okay. You guys have eaten up a fair amount of time. It's 3 p.m. By the time that you get the mule, get the armor exchanged, get down to your your lodgings. You went to, and what took some of the time is with your memory, you went down a couple different streets to a couple different places, thinking that they were yours before you actually remembered the right apartment for yourself to get your goods.
I tell you, never rent a room from a mage. This place moves every single day.
Alrighty. So unless there's the rest of you guys have something to do with Quell or out in the city.
Before going, Moschu asks Shackle, the stable master, for the name, if he knows of the name of anyone who knows somebody who's been taken by whatever it is in the forest, or who has complained of these things, who a name and address of somebody to contact in the forest or outside who's actually suffered, who has been complaining directly.
If you go down to the Boar's Head Inn, the owner there, he complains quite a bit about lost stock that's supposedly shipped on up over land there with his, between his beer and spirits and such.
Stock,
he
but
could,
not people.
well, here again, with him, certain folks are stock and are people to him, and he'll give you a wink, and those lasses makes him good money, and he purchased them from the slave market down in side. And that's about all I can tell you. He'll say he usually gets a pretty good stable of his own going from time to time.
The young elf, it seems to go over his head, and he doesn't seem to really cotton on to what the stable master's telling him, but he sort of he knows he's being included in some sort of secret information with a wink and things like that, so he nods back, but he doesn't really understand what he's being told, and just nods ignorantly.
Okay. Yeah, let's see here. Let's bring up, I'm going to bring up the city map, and let me see, can I share this?
Is slavery common in this human land?
Well, it's more common than some would like, and not as common as others desire.
But it's legal.
It's, well,
I mean, no, the elf wouldn't know. The elf wouldn't know.
No, that's fine. But Quell would say, oh, well, you'd have to tell me what legal is as far as your interpretation. For some of the businesses here, it is somewhat, we'll say, advantageous, but there's others that have tried to discourage it. Down inside, they make the slave market down there makes it the slavers make a pretty good living, from what I'm told, off of running certain types of stables.
The young elf frowns and nods and says, "We have no elves in Gallon 4. But I am new to these human lands," he says.
Okay. And let's see here. Pop this back. And up over here. Oh, you don't see that, so I'm going to have to pop that up to. Or do you see this? You don't see
I see a map of a city or something like that.
That's the city.
Count.
That's the city that you're in. It's Elvendar. But I wanted to. I'll have to do it a different way. I did it one way and with XSplit here, and I don't think I don't think you see the cursor in it. So
no.
So I have to go and open it on up.
I like the map. It looks like a real town.
Let me open this. Come on. Don't be so slow today. All right. Let's see here. Oh, all right. Not seeing it there. So where the heck did it go? Alrighty. Let's see here. Right. Don't see it there. Don't see it there. But anyways, we'll go on down through there. You know that at the Boar's Head Inn, and when I find the map where I put it, so I can bring it all the way up, I'll flop it up and oh, there it is. Yeah, come on, open up. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Paint there, and that'll allow me to go ahead. There we go. And let's bring this down a bit. Take it up just a little bit. Yeah, right there. And we'll...
What's the name of the town?
Elvendar. Elvendar. And let's see here. We'll take this one and use this one again. And where you guys come out of, let's see here. I have to share that. Let's see here. Get up. Come on. Come on. Come on, open up here. And now let's slow this sucker down. Anyways, we'll go ahead and you'll head down to the Boar's Head, which is down towards the southern part of the city. towards the harbor coast area, where you'll find the innkeeper. Well, Boar's Head innkeeper's name is Otto.
Question: are we going to start the travel in the present day, or are we going to start the next day?
That will be up to you guys.
Okay. I'm asking, and then I ask to the others.
Okay.
Oh, if you think we have no time, do you think we should leave now?
Well, I'm asking because I would like to roll a couple of investigations to get information on the woods, beasts that appear there. I mean, not necessarily get the information from Charles, but get at least a bit of advantage on any other role that we face. We have to do there.
Well, we need to talk to the innkeeper about the sock gnomes first, but then we can go after that.
The sock gnomes. Yeah. Come on here.
We should follow up the lead, and then, if you like, we can head out that night, or we can wait until the next day.
Being poor sucks.
I can probably trap us something out in the fields, and we can eat and sleep under the stars. I know you high elves prefer more luxurious accommodation, but I'm quite happy sleeping under a tree.
Yeah, no, I'm following this guy named Aracris. He was a very accomplished spellcaster, and basically I enrolled because he threw the speech, and my plan is to go wizard, but man, those things are expensive.
Oh,
And here,
the young elf nods, but not really understanding what you're saying.
right here where the purple is, well, let's undo that so it's not so messy. But that's where the boar's head is. I'll get a bigger brush, so I just make a dot type thing.
Yep. Okay. So that's
the
boar's
head we came from.
Yep.
Is right up over here. This Lord's Keep over there. And you have 3 ways in and out of the city, as you can see. So, and right now you're down at the Boar's Head. And I'll stop sharing that and get back to here. Come on. Alrighty. So that gives you guys an idea. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Buying sheets and chalk. What type of sheets? Sheets of paper or bedding sheets? They're.
I'm guessing he's meaning.
Rolling.
It's for mapping, so I'm guessing it's sheets of paper.
That's what I'm guessing, but I'm just double
checking. He says he's got a call. He's got a phone call.
Oh, no, that was Daryl.
Yep.
Parchment are useful for mapping?
Yeah, no problem. You'll be able to
5 paper, 10 parchment, and 10 chalk.
Okay, no problem. Just It'd be player's handbook prices.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
As far as that, alrighty.
As we wandered down to the Boar's Head, the wood elf started talking to the turtle, saying it's a unusual and strange story. You were born in a laboratory, I believe, in a wizard's experiments.
You're muted, Dave.
Yes, that is correct. He's very slow to answer because he's a turtle. Yes, he goes. He
Okay.
turns. He turns towards the elf and he goes, "Yes, I was born in a laboratory. From the stories I was told by the gnomish little man with a white beard, very small human being I ever seen. Seemed very, very tiny. Smaller than you, like a pixie almost. Very small and I'm not sure what you call that race, but they were like small and had sort of your features with pointy earlobes, as they say. I think very magical and very intelligent and very annoying. Squeaky little voices. Gnomes, I think.
Gnomes, they seem to be behind a lot of the mischief that's going on at the moment, according to Malachi.
Yes. My master was an annoying gnome who wanted the extra bit of muscle around his laboratory. I had to carry many things for him and do many tasks. He used to ride me. He used to put a saddle upon my back and ride me, and he used to whip me and tell me where to go, like, go over there, or go over here. Eventually enough, I got too big for his establishment and overpowered him slightly, pushing him away and left his laboratory, seeking knowledge of my people and trying to find my homeland. I do not know where it is or where it can be. Hopefully this library that the Lord has may have some information. But that is what I seek. I seek information of my people and of my race. I'm hoping to find peace and tranquility.
All right. So, are you guys spending the night or going on out?
I have heard many stories of elves. I heard that your eyes are very sharp in the night sky. I don't know if it's true or not, but
How much will it take us to go to arrive to the forest?
To arrive to the forest, you're well. Let's see here. It's to the forest. It's probably about maybe you're about a half a day's travel from the city to the beginning of the forest.
I imagine I would prefer to start tomorrow, but I don't know, you guys. Maybe we can camp for the night close to there and start fresh in the morning to entering the woods.
We should find out what we can in the Boar's Head and then move to the eaves of the forest. Maybe stay in a farmstead or something near the forest and enter in the morning. And maybe near the forest we'll be able to get better information.
Okay. Yeah, that's why.
What do you think? He says, yes. looking first at Malachi and then quickly changing his mind and looking over at Roland for an opinion. You're muted if you're speaking.
Me?
No, I was
Oh.
speaking to Roland, the half elf. No, you can jump in if you like.
The rough elf just looks and like says,
Oh.
I do not mind what you wish to do. I am here to gain information, and I won't stop until I gain that information. I'm here to be the muscle and the protector of this party, and I will do my best to help you in your situation, as long as I get the knowledge I seek.
Well,
So we'll make our way to the Boar's Head. And,
okay.
And I'll approach leading our pack mule down, and we'll tether it up outside, presuming there's a sort of bar or a place where other riders have left their animals.
Well, there's a little shed aside there for overnight storage if you want to pay for it, or there is a hitching post that's out front that's more of a temporary and less secure.
At the moment, leave it at the hitching post.
Okay.
Are there any children around?
Well, you'll notice that there's definitely a lot of street traffic going on back and forth. A lot of gawking at you guys, more so at Raphael than any of the others of you. I mean, he takes on the brunt of the whispers and sights and pointing, but it all looks in your general direction since you're traveling together.
Are there any tables outside, or
no tables?
Indoor?
No tables outside. Just accommodations inside the Boar's Head.
Okay. Go over and try and find a place where we can see the hitching post, so we can keep an eye on the mule while we're talking. And I'll offer to buy a meal for everybody in the party. Just a standard meal.
Okay. Yeah, you'll be able to find a table that's there where you can see through the window well enough that every once in a while you'll see the burrow sway side by side, so you know it's still there through the window. And it'll cost you 5 iron pieces for the standard meal out of the Boar's Head, which is some dark bread, cheese, and we'll say venison, along with a drink of your choice.
Then as we're being served the meal, I'll say that we've been sent by Lord Ballas to investigate what's going on in the forests and to investigate into the complaints that Otto have made. So when Otto has a minute, ask him to come over and speak to us as representatives of Lord Ballas.
Okay. Give me, all of you, if you desire, give me perception checks.
Woohoo, perception. Nice. Something I'm good at. Alright, let me see. So, perception. Perception. +4, plus. Okay. Let me
All
Ooh,
right.
I got 17.
All right. And is Seamus back? Okay. I guess he's still taking that call. All righty. So we'll go with that Raphael. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice a dark movement that seems to leave from the side of the boar's head. The rest of you, Otto heads on over after he hears that. What you're up to, you kind of prick the ears of some of the establishment that's in there, and he says to you, "What can I do for you? What do you need?"
It's what you need. We are responding to the complaints that you've made to Lord Ballas, or that have reached Lord Ballas that you've made.
Well, it's hard. It's hard to pay his taxes when you lose valuable commodities such as I have, and then the populace here loses faith in my establishment. I can't have that, so I have to have him known. The caravans that I sent, most of the time, don't make it back, and then when I send out some hirelings to find sign of them, they see the track, but then all of a sudden the tracks disappear all the way, and they cannot find them. It's up in that Shadowwood. There has to be some evil up there, whether bandits or the ghosts that they talk of. But I'm trying to keep life and limb together here and not be cast out of the town for not providing the services I promised my patrons to have. They'll go to my competitors if I can't provide.
These hirelings that you sent, are they here now? Can we speak to them?
No, they're not here at the moment. He's looking around, and a couple of them didn't come back, but I just don't know if it's because of any ill intent or just they were stupid and didn't know how to find their way home.
But some, I presume, went and came back.
Yes, yes.
Where are they now?
I imagine someplace in town or out on another task. They're kind of freebooters that pick up missions from time to time to make a little bit of brass or iron so they can take care of body and soul, as they say.
Are there any I can speak to who went into the forest following your tracks, or can you give me an exact location where we need to get of where they went into the forest?
Let's see here. Let's see. I want to bring that up and look. See here, and go ahead and give me a persuasion check, I guess, from to see if how good the information he'll give you will be, if any.
Four.
Oh, okay. Kill.
Roland is assisting if that
Okay,
helps.
then he'll go ahead and have advantage.
Then I get 18.
18.
I
Okay.
leave Roland to do the talking. After, first of all, I see him getting offended by my blunt, direct speaking, and I just sort of step back and let Roland take over the questioning.
And he'll go ahead and let me see. He'll tell you to take the north road out of town and follow it till it stops. It stops out into the grasslands, but then look for the trail to the wood from the grass. It's matted on down. You'll see some hills, and what you want to do is go. Let's see here. Where the heck? Yeah, you'll want to go follow that to the north, and you want to keep the hills to your east until you come to the forest, which would be on your north, and then travel between there, and you should pick up the trails. They're only a week old, so you might be able to still pick them up, or some track or such.
Roland is writing down all the specifications, and
Okay.
if there is any map he can pick into, he will point out and be double sure that the directions are correct.
Well, what he'll do is he'll give you a rough strip map if you present him with pen and parchment.
Yeah.
Which takes you out that northeast road and kind of points you in the directions that he gave you between the rolling hills and the forest.
Okay.
Raphael will just like follow and like sort of like crouch to the ground and feel the ground and like looks around and sniffs it and like tries to like do some tracking.
Okay. The question being, are you going out tonight or today, or waiting till the morning?
If these gnomes have been here already, it's best to track them down now, then let the scent go cold.
The scent is already a week cold. A few more hours will make little difference, but it's harder tracking at night. I
give me a I'll say Raphael and Moss.
Yep, Moss.
Shu. Give me insight checks.
Oh, insight. Ooh, interesting. Insight. Ooh, I get a +3 for that. Nice. I'm a very wise barbarian. Yes, I am. I'm a wise barbarian.
All right, and let's see here. What? All right. Wow. All right.
Everything's new to
you,
Moss.
Yeah, Moss. You believe that there's definitely gnomes creating the havoc. Where Raphael, you, in your mind, you're just you cannot believe that the gnomes would do or be able to accomplish such tasks at the level that they're being done.
Raphael, don't forget Raphael. His master was a gnome, and he has been around gnomes most of his life. So he was sort of look and sort of turn and say, I believe these gnomes may have stronger hands or stronger allies than. Yes,
Are we sure there are gnomes? Those are gnomes. Perhaps it's another race or another, or a monster that has a.
Roland, since you're asking that, give me an insight check.
Can I use the? Oh wait, the insight that I rolled before was for the mapping and the stuff. Okay, it was an 18.
Yeah. Give me another one on this.
Never predict in the morning. Never predict
Natural
in the
20.
evening what you will catch the next morning. So
Natural 20, 22.
Oh, okay. You'll believe that the gnome. There's no way gnomes could do this. Such grand effects aren't gnome worthy. We'll say. You believe that it couldn't be them. It must be something else. It's just that Malachi is just confused about these gnomes that keep saying there, and that the some of the citizens there, that when he says gnomes, that jeer in, that says yes, that's what it is. You believe that they're just rabble rousers.
Okay. So, will he know about the existence of any other race similar to the gnomes? As a player, I think maybe goblinoids, but I don't know how would you roll me selected now.
Give me a nature check.
can I be discussing it with him and give him advantage on that? I've got nature as well.
Most definitely.
And woods are my favourite territory and things like that, you know.
13.
13. You'll pull away from that a faint myth of some dog-like species that used to roam in the north here, and that there's a small dragon species once in a while that was spoke of, that you believe that the mothers and fathers kind of used to try to keep the children's behavior in check, with threats of sending them out into the Shadowwood to be eaten by these creatures. And that's about all that you pull from that.
Then after the meal, I suggest we move out to. Are there farms? Are there sort of around the city? Is there farmland?
There is farmland out around the city, as far as that goes. And let's see here.
So I suggest we move out, get a few hours journeying in before it gets too dark. Camp, find a place to camp overnight, maybe in some barn, maybe in some sheep pen or something like that, and then
you'll find
before the first crack of dawn we'll push on and hopefully reach the area where the attacks had, which they report was half a day's journey, early in the morning with the light coming up, and we'll have enough light to be able to investigate properly and move from there. What do you say?
where you see
Good.
3 buildings out on the northeast road heading out of town. Those are farmlands that are outside the city.
But I mean, there must be more farms. That doesn't look a big area for feeding that many houses. There must be more farms.
Well, you have some. You do down in the south and such.
But none. If there's if there aren't any farm buildings, then we'll just find somewhere else to camp. But we'll go out.
They're pretty.
Do not.
I can mark all the farmlands that you got there. They're pretty big farms, though.
I'm not talking about the scale because the scale of this map shows the city, but not the sort of surrounding lands. And I'm planning to get it off this map.
For example, I mean, I think he's meaning meet half a day away from the city, a farm or something that could shelter us.
All right. Well, this farm here.
No, that's not far enough. Not far enough. I'm planning on moving now off the map.
Off the map. Well, you wouldn't see too many buildings off the map. You'd have to go probably, if you went off the map, you go 4 hours and you might see a small farm where they're like someone starting to build a farm, take hold of the land and such.
Can I assist in the situation? The Raphael says, I know many survival tactics. I learned many things by reading books.
Raphael, you can do what you want to, but the data won't change. It's about 4 hours out, where you start seeing small family startup farms that are
but can Raphael sort of assist the situation, because he goes to one knee, touches the ground and pinches it, type thing, and looks in the distance, and sort of looks at the sky, and sniffs around, and and sort of judges the survival conditions of the land.
You're looking for wild camping or something like that.
What I suggest is we travel, as you say, if it's 4 hours to these outlying farms, we travel 4 hours. As the farm dogs start barking, we'll try and bargain to stay in a sheep pen or some outlying barn for the night, and if not, we'll just camp in the wilds.
Very well. Very well. So, Raphael takes a very slow step and starts walking.
All right. We'll say you get out there about 4 hours, which will make it we'll say about 8 p.m.
Does it take an extra hour to become a turtle?
And you come to a small farmhouse. You see a small light coming through a shaded window, and but you don't hear no dog.
This is most disturbing.
It's a hovel that's made out of sod. Even the roof is sod.
And Raphael looks around to see if there's a front door or some sort of entrance.
Okay. You have dark vision?
No.
Okay. You don't see much of nothing. You will notice the light. You're about 400 feet off, but you will notice the dim light coming from the window.
Alright. I sort of go into my back, realizing it's dark.
Okay.
I go into my equipment and like get out a torch and get the old flint and steel and go ching ching ching, light up and hold it up head height a little bit forward and start slowly walking forward towards the light.
In a mediocre attempt to stealth in front, and my character gets distracted and cannot see anything at all.
Okay.
Yeah, and in the darkness, you just hear the Malachi clinking along behind it, his chainmail, doosh, 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 towards the house.
Well,
And
Probably singing slightly to himself.
As the turtle starts up his torch, Moss disappears, goes off into the darkness, and you may occasionally glimpse him, but he's moving silently and stealthily, though fast.
Oh, okay. What's his stealth?
Do you want me to roll? I'll
Yeah, go ahead. Just so if you really botch it, and I mean it's not going to be hard, but if you really botch it, then it can have its effect.
18.
18. All right, that's you're pretty quiet and like that. You're not hearing. You're figuring you're doing exceptionally well. As far as that, and you're able to stay with the party off to whichever direction from the path they're taking. How far out away from the party are you going to be?
I'm about, if the radius of the dim light is 40, I'll be sort of between 50 and 60, usually.
Oh, okay. And
nice.
as you get to about 60 feet, as you guys progress and you get about 60 feet from the hovel, you do see what would appear to be a doorway. You do see the light in the window a little brighter and such, and it looks like a small side building.
Okay.
It would be kind of medium quality build as far as that for the materials used. You can give whoever has a passive perception that's above a 15 or 15 or above, you'll hear some voices inside. They'll be speaking Dwarvish. So if Mr. Raphael, do you speak Dwarven?
I speak Gnome and Common and my own language, which is Turtlenese.
Yep. Okay.
Whatever it's.
So you hear voices, but you can't make out what they're saying. You don't understand what they're saying.
No, because I was taught Gnome because my master was a gnome.
Okay.
But I do speak Common and I do speak my own language, which is the turtle language.
Okay,
But that's it.
Malachi, what are you doing?
Yep. In all of my demented innocence, I am going to clunk up to the front door, and I am going to knock on it.
Good move.
All right.
And I'll be right. And what I do, as we get closer to the light, Raphael pulls out like a blanket, like a wet blanket, and dances the flame out of his torch, like dance it out, like puts his torch away, and then stands behind the fighter, and sort of like stands there quietly and looks at the human and says, "Hopefully these people are friendly."
Okay. And Roland,
Yes.
what are you up to?
Yeah, he will stay behind, like, but he's still squishy. So
Okay.
he will want to keep an eye around, a bow and arrow ready, in
Okay.
case anything comes to harm from outside.
Okay. And Moshu.
Moss is just he's not unshouldered his bow. He's not expecting trouble, but he'll be watching what goes on, and he'll be looking out, sort of sniffing the air and listening for the forest, seeing if there's anything suspicious going on. But he's not really expecting anything, and he'll
Okay.
leave first
Mal-
introduction to the others.
Malachi and Roland, you're close enough now that if you understand Dwarven, let me know.
No.
Nope.
Okay. So you hear some strange language coming out through the door when Malachi raps upon it. As far as that. And let me see here, just for the sake of grin and giggles, give me initiative and put it in the chat.
All right.
All right.
Woohoo.
Okay.
I beat the elf. Glorious day.
And we got 2 8s there.
Let's
Three.
beat the hair.
3 8s.
3.
Yep.
Oh, where's
I got
no,
16.
Two. No, two. Sorry.
yeah?
And we're
Malachi.
missing
Malachi.
Malachi.
Oh, 11. Okay, that works. 11. And then 8, 8, and a 5. All right. 16 is half. And then now. And then we'll let you guys fight it out for who would go there between Roland.
Roland goes first.
Okay. And Moss.
It is 18.
All right. So, Raphael, what do you
Yes.
you hear these
Well-
voices, and what do you do? What are you doing?
One, I play out my personality, which is I'm willing to listen to every side of an argument before making my own judgments. So Raphael will just like look at the door, like if he in like if someone answers it, he will just listen intensively, not knowing the language because he has no clue about the language.
Okay.
But he will stand there looking, but he'll be like standing there, like he's not gonna be like ready for action. He's being very passive aggressive, so he's not like being aggressive or anything like that. He's standing there like he's ready to like talk to someone or
All
so.
right.
Yeah,
Got it. As far as that, Malachi.
Yeah, I will be stood knocking on the door, and even though I don't speak a word of Dwarfish, I will probably have decided that I understand what they say, and I will be making stunted, garbled noises in what I think is Dwarvish at the door.
Okay. And then Roland.
Yes.
go ahead and tell me what you're doing at this juncture.
Well, as I said, he's paying attention that no one comes from behind the party and attacks.
Okay.
But it's basically
give me a give me a perception check.
Oh, it's at disadvantage in the dark.
Well, you got you got light from the window.
Okay.
20.
20? Okay. You see a dark, small figure off to your left of the side of the building. You don't make out exactly what he is or it is, but you see a very dark, small silhouette. So I'll give you a chance to react or act in your round.
Yeah. Basically, he will point or direct his aim at the creature and say, "Halt! Who is in there?" And ready his action in case he becomes hostile and release the arrow towards it.
Oh, okay. Moss.
Moss was just standing casually, but when he hears "Halt, who goes there?" If he sees what it is, he'll unshoulder his bow and take a sort of stealthy sort of position and look out and see if he can see what's going on.
Give me a perception check.
He'll be looking towards where he saw. I mean, presumably he recognizes the voice of Roland, and he'll be looking towards Roland.
Okay.
See if that helps him. Perception is 12, unless I get advantage.
Yeah, I'll give you advantage on it because you heard Roland.
In that case, I get a 25.
All right. You'll see a small, dark figure on the side of the building.
He's on the building or near
on the ground.
Right.
And both you and Roland would say that he's about 2.5 feet tall.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
We found the sock gnomes.
Basically, Moss will just sort of he'll just try and keep full cover and or be as well hidden as he possibly can in the grasslands, and he'll unshoulder his bow, but he's not, and knock an arrow, but he's not sort of drawing a bead on the man. He's just seeing what happens next.
All right. What you'll see happen next, since it's on their turn, is you'll hear a scream of pretty loud, and you'll see some fast movement, and then he disappears. I'll give Moss and Roland, since they kind of prep for if something happens, the chance to act.
Yeah. Will Roland identify that as hostile? He will just release the arrow.
I'll leave that up to you to decide whether or not it's hostile or not. It could be someone calling out your placement, since you don't understand Dwarvish.
When you say runs, does he run towards us or run away?
It looks like he's running towards the back of the building, and then all of a sudden vanishes.
Okay, then he will shoot not to kill.
How do you do that?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, if he for any reason rolls a natural 20, he will put an arrow on the knee of the thing,
Okay.
but not kill it outright.
Roll the hit. Let's go from there first.
20.
20 natural.
No, not natural.
Oh, okay, good. As far as that hits him, roll up your damage.
10 points of damage. Non-lethal.
He drops, and when he drops, you hear a gurgling holler. As far as that, and then you hear different screams from inside the building, and we're up to Raph.
Okay, so Raph hears the screamings going on, looks worried for a minute, and then he says, "Out the way, human!" And he goes towards the door and just bang, smashes it down to try to save the people inside because he doesn't know what's going on.
Roll the hit and then roll the damage, and it's not going to be hard to hit this wooden door.
Okay, so is that athletics? Yeah.
It's what are you using to hit?
My actual shoulder,
Okay.
barging the door.
Yeah,
Not using my axe. I'm just using my pure. I'm just using my.
Yeah, it'd be an improvised. It'd be an improvised weapon attack. So yes, it'd be your strength.
So athletics, yeah.
No, strength.
Okay, my strength.
He is asking for you to damage the door enough for you to be able to enter.
Okay. So that'd be a +4. Fine. Cool.
Or that's what I think he's asking.
Pretty.
So I got a 21 with my strength. Boom.
All right. Roll me a D4 plus your strength modifier.
1d4 plus my strength modifier, so that would be a +4. Yes, correct. Yeah.
So 4 points of damage.
Hang on. I'm rolling it. Hang on. 1d4. Oh, so I do 5.
All right. And the door seems to be still standing.
Okay. So he will try and so that's what he do. And he'll try, and then he'll sort of damn door, and he'll hold the handle and then try again later to ram it.
Well,
to try ram it later.
Yeah. Let me validate the hit points of that object.
So the dwarves hear this big giant.
Okay, that's 32. All right. And after that will be Malachi. You see your partner ram past you and hit the door with its, well, if you could call it its shoulder, more like the corner of its shell.
Right, Malachi's probably getting quite confused at the minute because he's heard the screams. He'll have heard Roland shout out, and then he'll have heard some sort of muffled thunk. Then Raphael's legged it past him and straight into the door. Can I try the door handle to see if it's unlocked?
Yeah, you sure can.
Okay, so yeah.
And the door handle seems to be locked.
Right.
Or unlocked, rather. Is what
unlocked.
I want to say.
Right.
Unlocked.
Yeah. So I will open it and I will go in.
And you can't get it open.
Ah.
Through the window.
Meanwhile, you're hearing all these screams in different languages and different tones.
Languages? Right. Which languages?
Dwarvish.
Dwarven.
Oh. different tones. Okay, yeah, I get
Yeah.
it.
So yes, if I can't get the door open, I will actually. Yes, I think I will wander up to one of the windows and I will press my face against it and yell again in what I think is Dwarvish. We're here to help you. What's the screaming about?
All right. The window doesn't have any covering save the cloth shades that it has. So you're pressing as you press your face onto it in it and hollering, you go ahead and you see four beings inside the door that look to be dwarvish and screaming at the sight of your face coming on through. You see fear in their eyes. You'll notice that there seems to be a back door that they're kind of trying to edge their way to. And we'll head to Roland.
He will move. Will he know about what the others are doing? The hitting of the door and stuff like that, and that other stuff.
Yeah, you were close enough when you to them that you'd see those actions going on, but yet far enough away where you saw the shadow on the outside of the
He will go and inspect the shadow.
Oh, okay. You'll come up upon the shadow. You see a 2.5 foot shape laid out on the ground with an arrow that kind of hit him in the chest.
Okay.
And it doesn't seem to be moving.
Will Roland recognize the race?
Yeah, I'll give that to you. You'll recognize that it looks to be a dwarven male child.
Will he? He will check the vitals of the children of the child.
Okay, give me a medicine check.
22.
All right, you know that this child is dead.
Crap. Wait, are you not playing with non-lethal damage?
Well, I'm playing with non-lethal damage. You just did twice its normal hit points, which would kill it.
He will grab the body of the child and bring it back to the cottage.
Okay. And Mossfoot, shoot.
Moss, not really knowing what's going on, but he sees Roland going one way. He'll sort of arc round the other side of the building, so he can. So between them, they can see both sides of the building to see what's going on.
You'll notice a back door area that you'll be able to see,
but that's basically all he's trying to do.
Inside, you'll hear more screaming and screaming, and they move towards the back, going towards the back door that Malachi would notice, and they open the back door to go on out, and you see some dwarves looking to exit. You have the light behind them, giving a fairly good picture for the elves of them. You'll see two kids, a male child and a daughter, a husband and a wife is what you'd surmise it to be. And they look somewhat underfed. They definitely are dirty. And that's what they're doing. Just yelling and screaming. and you're not understanding what they're screaming. And that'll put us back up to Raph.
So Raph, like, sort of once again, he is confused of what is going on because he heard screaming, and he thinks that something dangerous is in the house. So, being in his nature, he listens. You know, he sort of like bangs the door again, like tries to batter in the door in again. He says, "Do not worry, civilians. We're coming to help you," because he thinks they're in danger. So that's what he thinks.
All right. What language are you saying this in?
In common.
Oh, okay. Roll me the damage for the door.
Oh, okay. It's straight out damage, yeah. All right.
Well, yeah. The your improvised weapon damage plus strength modifier.
Straight out damage, then. Okay. All right. I do 7 points of damage to the door.
All right. You hear a little bit of creaking, but it's still standing there pretty good.
All right. That's all he can do. Before, as he's listening to this language, can I use my Sage feature, which is like I frequently know where to find information and concerning law. So, like, where would I find information about this language and the common law of this language that these people are speaking?
Okay. Yeah, you want to roll that knowledge check? That's fine. It's going to be really easy if you get a 5 or better.
Okay, so what that be? What does knowledge come under? Is that intelligence or wisdom?
Intelligence.
Okay. 1d20. See what I know. I've got a 10, so I sort of know where it comes from.
Yeah, you'll know that back at Lord Ballios's library, there would be books on languages, culture, and law.
Awesome. All right, Raphael's got adjective, but he still wants to get past this door.
All right, Malachi, your head's in through the window. You're seeing these dwarves move back towards the back door, screaming. You see a petrified look in their face. There seems to be somewhat of a calming, but not much.
I am going to give up on speaking Dwarven.
Okay.
And I am going to try and get through the window while shouting in common at the top of my lungs, "We are here to rescue you from the sock gnomes. Have no fear."
All right, you'll get through there, and they're pretty much out the door. They're moving back away as quick as they can, while the mother and the father is trying to hurdle up the two youngsters, and he's trying to look for something to defend his family with, as far as that in his mind. Roland.
He will ask to the other party members, especially the one who is trying to knock down the door, just stop it. Just afraid people trying to hide from harm.
And you see, and you do see the door in the back open up, the light shine through it, and you hear the screams clear, just to paste up this picture a little better.
Yeah, he will carry the child towards that door.
Okay.
And I don't know if there is any sign known in the area for
Okay, give me
that can be recognized by any race or common folk as a sign of apology, and we do not intend do no harm.
So, what? Say that again. What you're trying to accomplish? I know you're trying to calm the situation. I'm gathering that.
Yes.
I just didn't all the steps. I just didn't.
So for
Okay.
when we are where he will, what I hear, what I understand is that they do not speak common, so they are not understanding our plea, and the warrior trying to break down the door is not helping, so he's trying to make a peace not only with words but with a gesture that will be commonly known as a sign of we do not mean any harm.
Yeah, what you're saying. Yeah, you're surmising that they don't speak common, but as far as that, but they as you did you come around to get in front of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, not in front of them, for them to see me carrying the child and say we do not mean any harm.
They you'll hear them start yelling louder and wailing as far as that, as their free actions. And Moshu,
Moss, in a position where he can see, is just observing and watching for any other people drawn, see if there's any sign for anybody else. There's quite a commotion going on here. See if there's a sign of anyone else being drawn towards it, but he's pretty sure that it's a panicked farm family, and it'll soon resolve because he doesn't know what's gone on yet.
all right, to the farm family. As Roland, as you get out there and they see the child, you'll see the sister and the brother will leap at you. The mother will leap at you. You hear the sobs, and the father is trying to protect the rear as they're going. And let's see here. Ooh, a 19 hit you?
Yes.
Okay. A 4 will miss. Ooh, and another 4 will miss. So the mother will lunge at you because she's so far back in the thing. She'll fall on her face onto the ground, just missing you. The sister will lunge at you, and she's grabbing for like your knees, and she misses and falls in front of you. But the little brother, he jumps and he grabs a hold of your knee, and he goes ahead and he bites you, and you take 4 points. No, that's two.
No,
2 points. 2 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
He just gets up under the knee, where there's a nice juicy open spot, and he bites down with the dwarven jaw and just holds on. Raphael.
Well, Raphael, once again, if he would attempt to barge the door, trying to break this door down,
Okay. Roll the damage. You have no problem hitting the door.
Do another 5 points of damage to it. Oof.
Okay, you're starting to see some cracks in it.
All right, and that's the end of my turn. He just wants to get in there and try and save them.
Okay, Malachi.
Yeah, now that some fighting's broken out where Malachi can see something weird is happening in the back of his brain, something familiar, and he's not going to attack the family or anything like that, because as far as he can see, it's innocence versus a friend. So he's just going to revert by instinct back into soldier mode, and he's going to shout out a command as intimidatingly as possible. Everybody stop! In his best soldier voice.
All right. Give me an intimidation check.
Here we go. Let's see what happens here.
And let's see here. Okay.
Intimidation. That is a 7.
Oh,
Right.
man. It's, you, man. Well, I wish you could have rolled better. They rolled a 9.
Oh.
So you just missed from being able to calm that situation down.
Can I do? Oh no, I don't have action surge yet. Never mind.
They're seeing what they're seeing right now is the limp body of their son, and the husband is seeing his wife fall to the ground jumping, and his daughter falling to the ground, and the son chomping. So it's fueling his rage on that soul. Roland,
Yeah.
it's you holding the corpse,
Yeah.
being chewed on the knee.
In common, I will say, this is your fault. Stop it, or you will not be able to give proper burial to your child. I'm trying to persuade him to stop. Persuade
All
them
right,
to stop.
roll your persuasion.
Do I get advantage or just straight?
I'd give you disadvantage since you're holding the corpse.
But I am.
Yep.
Well, it will be more like letting them know that if they keep doing it, the body will be more damaged.
All right, and then straight up roll that. I'll give you.
Oh, shoot. 5.
5. You're not breaking on through the sorrow and everything. I mean, you missed that bad. They got a 16 on their roll. So he's just aggravated. The son is grief stricken. The daughter and the mother, there's nothing but weeps coming from them. And Moss Shoe.
Moss has never been particularly comfortable in social situations, and this looks like the worst possible social situation to be in. So he's not going to get involved. He's going to continue watching from the shadows, from a distance, and see if and try and also keep an eye on the rest of the countryside to see if the noise and commotion and lamentation is drawing any other unwanted attention, but he's trying to keep out of it.
All right. And, well, let's see here. The boy, the son, the brother goes for another bite and falls off your leg there. And the mother gets up and misses. The daughter gets up and misses. There's sobbing going all over the place. What about the father? Ooh, the father, I believe, will miss too, because that's a 12. As far as that, he comes out the door rushing towards his family in a weeping anger, and he swings a soup ladle at you that he picked up from the pot that they were eating, going to eat their supper from, and we're up the Raph.
Raph, well, once again, he's trying to get through the front door.
All right, roll me the damage.
Okay. 1d4. That equals 5 points of damage to the door.
All right, there's larger cracks showing there, and through them, you'll see that there's a wooden bar across the middle of the door.
Okay, so as he sees that, he as an action, he draws his axe, and that's what he does.
Okay. Malachi, you're inside. You see the father go and take a swing at Roland. You see the rest of the family trying to attack, but being useless.
About how far away am I at this stage?
You're no more than 10 feet.
Right. So I'm going to wander up, still somehow in soldier mode. I am simply going to take the child's body out of Roland's hands if he will let me, and I will place it on the ground and then back off again.
All right. So you're going to go through.
Yeah, I will just walk straight through. They can all have a pop.
Yeah. Pops has a 17. Does that hit?
Ooh, yeah, he does.
All right. That'll be a miss. I believe a 7 will miss you. So mom's misses. Daughter misses. Does a 12 hit you?
No.
Okay. And Sonny misses you. And you'll take 1 point of damage from being hit on the head with a ladle.
And so, Roland, are you giving up the body, or do I have to fight you for it?
Well, basically, he's waiting for them to react to stop. But if you take the body out of his hands, he will allow you because you are not posing any threat to him.
Okay. So as soon as I get the body, I gently place it on the ground, and I will back away from the body.
Okay.
I will also, as a free action, if it's all right, take my axe off my back and throw it on the ground.
All right. I'll allow that. Quick question, Malachi. What are you wearing? Are you still wearing the symbol of this the city guard, or?
Yeah, it's very likely still on my armor.
Okay. All right, ready and rolling.
Yes.
What you doing?
He will again. He will take out his shield, and if unwear it, and if you allow that, he will. He will shame them. To guilt. He will try to make them feel guilt because it was saying that it was your fault for not answering us correctly. This would have been solved differently if you were at least answered to us.
Do a persuasion check. Oh, you definitely got a chance to beat that one.
11.
All right. They start calming down. They're still heavy size and stuff, but they don't seem to be as aggressive since their son is on the ground. They're going towards the fall upon the boy's body in sorrow. That all you have, Roland?
can I keep speaking?
Yeah, you can keep
Yeah.
speaking.
I really doubt you cannot speak common. Basically, I understand that you people are afraid of strangers and fear for your lives, but you should know that speaking will have we will have understand your situation, and we will have deal this in will have dealt with this in a very different manner way, in very different way.
All right.
And
Lost you.
Moss is just, as I said, nothing's really changed. He's staying out of it. He's glad it's calming down from the sound of it, but he's still keeping an eye out, seeing if anything else has been drawn to the commotion. And he knows he's not good in social situations, so he's not going to try and get involved.
All right. And the rest of the family, they're throwing their weeping bodies upon their brother and son and whimpering. And once in a while, out of the whimpers, you'll hear in a broken common, murderers, brigand. And up to Raph. What are you doing, Raph? You got an axe out?
Yeah.
You have a door that's been pissing you off?
Yeah, he's gonna take the axe. He's gonna take the axe to the door and chop it.
All right. Do the damage.
Alright, okay. 1d12 plus my strength bonus. And I'm not raging, so I'm not angry yet. It's slow to anger me. Alright, I'm not angry yet, but gonna hit this door. Alright, here I go. With my axe, I do 16 points of damage to it. Ooh.
With all the frustration that you had, you hit it with the axe with all that you got, and it breaks into splinters that can't be mended again. They fly all over the place. You see the light flood through into your eyes. You're slightly blinded for a moment from the quick change of the light. Not that you're truly blinded, but your eyes have to adjust. And you see on the other side, as you hit there, the bodies of the family piled up on the ground upon something. They're whimpering, broken common. You'll hear murderers and brigands.
Okay, I put my axe away.
Okay.
I, put it away, and I go up. I sort of walk slowly towards the family, very slowly, and I look at them, see if they are medically injured.
Not from the ones that you can see. All right, let's go to Malachi.
Yep. Will Malachi have any inclination about obviously not himself being able to do it, but will he know that there is such a thing as resurrection?
Give me a knowledge religion check.
Okay. Religion. Don't think of plus naught. Straight D20. Way 19.
Oh, okay. You've heard of such things. You've never seen such, but you have heard that there have been tales of such things that have happened through the ages.
And based on what he's heard, does he know the prerequisites of what he would need to bring to somebody who was able to do it?
No, because you've heard such different accountings of how it was done and such. All you know is that it's rare and expensive.
Right, okay. So I will go up to the father and I will try and gently pull him to one side, and I will tell him that I will find a way to undo this horrible mistake.
All right. And Roland,
Yes.
you murderous lug, you cold-hearted.
Does he understand what they are saying?
On the broken common, you do.
This is. I do not repent for what I did. This set of skills you call murdering are the ones who keep you alive each time the military and the forces of the Lord come to save you from the dangers in the wild.
Oh dear, as a
It's
free
your
action.
fault.
Yeah, as a free action, Malachi's going to take a lot of umbrage with that. You might hear lots of shouts in common that are not so broken at this stage if you're going to say that.
This event has not gone the way I hoped it would, but it's fun nonetheless.
Raphael scours at the
Scowls.
scowls at the elf in
All right.
anger, and goes over and
No,
pulls
no,
the arrow.
Hold up.
Oh,
Not-
pulls the
not
arrow
your-
out.
Not
Oh.
your turn yet.
Okay.
And
I scour.
Moshu.
The others have no idea where Moss is. He's just he's disappeared for the time being.
Okay. And the father will turn over. He sees the faint symbol of the city's guards, and he, in broken common, will curse you and the city guards for murdering his son and threatening them with such violence as far as that. And the mother will look up at Roland with tearful eyes and ask, why? And why? In broken common here. Their common is not very good as far as that. But she's beseeching, why? And such. So,
Yeah. Roland will direct his sight towards Hell and say, do you honestly believe I came here for the explicit purpose to kill your son?
she will say, your actions speaks your heart. And you guys are out of Anish now, so.
Okay.
I will say if it were true, it will not be only one arrow stuck in his body, and you will also be dead.
Right. Malachi's getting extremely upset at this stage. He is going to wander off to his elven friend, and he is going to very politely.
Which elven?
Roland. Yeah, Roland.
Okay.
And he's going to very politely.
He doesn't know where the other one is.
Well,
No.
that's exactly why.
And very firmly and very intimidatingly, if necessary, say, go and take a walk. Walk away.
Well, do your, I guess, intimidation or persuasion checks. And there, and your opposed check, Roland.
Can I do a medicine roll on this child to see if it is possible to actually
You turtle, right? You can
Yeah.
do it whatever you can want to do if you can get at the child at the moment.
Okay, I walk slowly towards the child, go down to one knee, type thing, and check it over carefully to see if
The
there's
brother,
a
the brother and the sister are covering the body along with the mother, trying to protect the body, afraid that you may desecrate it. Is the
No.
idea that you'll get from their perceptive view.
I sort of speak very, very slowly in broken common. I say, "Do not fear me. I know many ways of medicine, and please let me see." And I sort of move my hand closer to the child to see if I can get a good look at the injury.
Okay, that's what you're doing. Malachi and Roland, how did those rolls go?
Yeah, he will basically lead notice that his speech is just causing more trouble, and he will just walk away.
Okay. And your medicine, roll your medicine check there, Raphael, and
Okay.
there, Moshu, what are you doing?
Ooh, a 21.
You know that it's dead. There isn't a pulse.
Raphael, what he'll do, he will as he's looking over the child, and he looks over the father and mother and sighs a bit, and then he pull from his actual bag, his coin bag, he pulls out 2 bronze coins, and then puts them on the eyelids of the child, and then covers the face with the blanket, and then he will sort of speak in a very unusual tongue, type thing, you shall be taught, type thing, and
Okay.
and then he will get up, and he sort of goes over to the soldier, and then the guardsman of the town, and he says, "That child has gone. Whoever done this horrible crime must pay."
All right. Yeah. Moshu, what were you doing? You hear this big speech that Raphael gives, and some fancy words over the body.
Again, if anything is gonna, he feels he's not good in this situation, and he also does think that enough of a commotion has been caused here to possibly attract, if there are any dangers abroad in the night, they might have been attracted by that. So he's just going to keep quiet, silent, and watch for the next hour or so, about an hour, unless somebody comes out looking for him specifically.
All right. With the blanket being put on him and the 2 bronze pieces on the child's eyes, the family will pick up the child, and they're going to try to walk off unless stopped.
No, I do not stop them.
I'm not going to stop them, but I'm going to walk alongside the father again, and I am going to repeat that I'm going to find a way to undo this, and I will find him when it's done, and then let them go.
Okay, what's the rest of you doing?
Raphael gets out.
Raphael, I
Oh.
got you right at the moment, but
Sure.
Roland and Mashu, as you see them walking off in this manner
Walking off to in which direction?
towards the direction that you came from, towards the city.
Hmm. Yeah, no, he will sight and in Elvish will course he would is not dwarfs, but what is the word for? It's like some sort of weaklings, but between weak and common folk and ignorant, something like that.
Okay. This is turning into a beautiful campaign right from the get. I'm loving it. Okay, Mashu, you're hearing the Elvish verbiage. If any of the others of you understand Elvish, you will understand what Roland is preaching at them. That their weak status and intellectual standing has caused their son's death. So hence it's all their fault, not the arrow that hit him. Is that about right, Roland?
Yeah, no. Well, Roland, he understands his part his fault, but he also understands that they were not cooperating, and that is also on them.
But that's what you're getting from this. The platitudes that are being kind of shouted or spoken loudly at them as they're walking away with the corpse of their son in a blanket with 2 bronze pieces on his eyes towards town. You now have a sod hovel that has a broken front door. The back door is open. Lights on. Heat's in there. What are y'all doing?
Raphael just looks at the soldier, looks at the elf, doesn't know what he said because he doesn't speak Elven. Looks curious, gives him a weird look, and then sort of says, "Well, that was an unusual event," and then we must find these sock gnomes that you are on about. And then Raphael just go, because he's not there to judge. He's very passive, because that's his nature. He judges before acting. Raphael,
keep in mind that you didn't. Your earlier.
Oh, I was at the door. I didn't.
No, your earlier insight check back in the city was that you didn't believe that gnomes were capable of doing these crimes. So
it was mine. It was my check.
No, it was his too.
Okay. Oh yes.
There was two of you that saw that it wasn't gnomes that Malachi is saying that it was, or you believe it wasn't gnomes.
No, yeah, I believe that gnomes got some upper, a helping hand. That's what I believe.
Okay.
In other words, because I used to work for gnome, and I know that they hire or use people for their disadvantage of strength and brutalness, as it were. So it's like, yeah, he knows gnomes are very intelligent and very crafty little things. So he knows that they do lots of tricks and mischief. So he probably knows that they might be involved, but they probably got someone to help them.
All right.
I love the way I've convinced the party that sock gnomes are involved in.
I know. This is great. This is a grand start of things, as far as that. So we're getting close to the time span. So I'll let you guys. What are you gonna do? You're gonna rest here.
Rona will say that it is not wise to rest here because it will cause more trouble even if we were justified somehow. It will only cause more trouble if we stay here because we are on a mission.
We are currently murderers. They're going straight for the nearest guardsman they can find. We have to get as far away from here as possible.
I mean, he's an urchin. He knows the life's road, so he's not that worried about them.
The turtle looks and says, I did not murder anyone. And is like, and I just heard screaming and I just act upon it.
Yeah,
hoping to save whatever it is that was attacking them.
Your bashing was not helpful. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay, so you guys are going to go a little bit further and find a campsite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would that be survival?
No, you'll be able to go. We'll say you go another half hour up the road or up the trail, and you find.
I'll hide our tracks as best as I can as we're moving away.
All right, give me a survival check on that, and but you'll find yourself a campsite.
And as the evening wears on and we get closer and closer to our new campsite destination, the soldierness and militarisms around Malachi seem to fade again as the adrenaline fades and he seems to be back to his confused self.
Okay.
Add guidance to the roll, whoever is for the survival.
Okay.
Well, what you get?
So with guidance, it will be 15.
Okay, yeah, no problem. You find what you believe is a suitable spot, and we'll pretty much end it right there. You guys are setting on up, and then we'll pick it up from there on the next session. You guys, I'll let you guys have any outros that you want. We did have at least one viewer. Which they should have had fun.
I bet the viewer was a dwarf fan.
I hope so.
Okay, I propose one elf awake at a time, and
yeah,
that
you
covers
guys, the night shift and everything from there won't be a problem. We'll pick it up from the morning. Nothing happens during the night. There's enough tragedy befitting all the members' minds here. About the only one that's somewhat safe from it is Moshu, because they never saw him.
Needs to sleep with one eye open.
You covered your tracks leaving well enough as far as that. So if you want to say goodbyes or whatever, go ahead, and then I'll stop the broadcast.
Yeah, just thank you again, Charles. It's been really fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
no problem.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Awesome as always.
Okay.
Yeah, good game. And this is the first time I've been in a game with you, Daryl. It's been fun. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
Well, good. I'll tell you across the board, good character concepts out of all of you. Very enjoyable from my perspective. Quite unique. In fact, I'll say, Lionel, this is the first cold-hearted SOB I've ever seen you play. I love it.
It was good, like.
As far as it added such true flavor on the perspective of the dynamics between the family and how a player or party member might view it without a positive communication base. So it was great. I want to say thanks to everybody that watched or will watch. All you guys that are playing in this, hopefully we'll continue to keep this fun and uplifted. Along with that, just
fun and uplifting adventures of killing children. Join in for more fun, uplifting.
Yes,
adventures.
it's true to the core. Type
yes, and the hunt for sock gnomes. The hunt of sock gnomes.
Sock gnome hunting murder hobos will become.
Yes.
I want to stay out there to the people, support the Kobold Con if you can. And there's another con that I put upon the UAG website and the Eire website. Please look at them, support them if you can. They are both have virtual tables there. And so if you can, and by support, if you can feel like you want a GM, I'm sure they'll love that. If you want to play, I know they'll love that to boot. So let's support other community members' activities where and when we can. As far as that, remember the OSG, Nerdarchy, some very great assets there. And don't forget, for you fellows over in the European side and us that are free time-wise, don't forget the Eurocentric OSG page there that Ian White takes care of. Some great games and people on there. So just try to support the community where and when you can. That's as far as that. And if you can't roll 20s, roll crit ones, but do it in style. And that's the best I can tell you. All right.
Nice.
Stop this.
Thank you.